Hey guys, welcome back to video number 5 out of 6. Today we will do some extra drills for the clean, just like we did in session 2. But now we're going to focus a bit more on what we do from the hang. All you need for today's workout is the stick, obviously, and a lot of patience. Since you're just using a stick for today instead of a barbell, you don't have feedback from the weight. You need to move in a controlled manner, so don't rush the movements, all right? We're going to start with a simple warm-up. Cecily's going to show us. We're going to start with an awesome ninja move. You grab the stick fairly high. You get your thumb downwards, and basically you hit in alternating directions. So this should warm up your shoulder and mid-back pretty nicely. Start slow. If this feels super easy, you guys can join in straight away. If it feels pretty easy, you can go faster and faster, just don't hit anything. Now, if at some point you feel like, yeah, I don't have space for this, I don't want to hit my dog in the face, grab the stick in the middle, bend your elbow a little bit, and then you just make twisting movements back and forth. You go as far as you can. And you just do that 10 times per side. But if you can do the other one, you will do that one 10 times per side. The other one is nice for the mid-back, but this is a very acceptable alternative. After that, you grab the stick in a supinated grip, which means palms facing up. You get the stick overhead and then behind your head. Now first you're going to do 10 stretches for the mid-back, which means she's going to throw her chest up and her elbows up. Hold for a second and back. And again. And again. So you guys can join in straight away. We're going to do at least 10 repetitions. Obviously, feel free to do a few extra or a few less if you feel you don't need this or if you've already done a warm-up before this. But basically what I want to see is 10 repetitions at least of proper mid-back stretching. Once you've done that 10 times, you're going to stay in the same position, but instead of focusing on the middle of the back, you're going to focus on the lats, on these muscles. So she's going to do the same thing, but now she's going to get her chest down. So the elbows go up and the chest goes down. And back, and hold. So instead of stretching the middle of the back, we're now stretching these muscles a bit more. 10 times. Chest goes down, elbows go up. It's good. Once you've done 10 repetitions of that, you're going to go to a regular grip. You can choose if you want to go a bit wider or a bit more narrow. Don't overthink it. You're going to do 20 alternating lunges. So all the way overhead. Make sure your elbows stay straight. Now, depending on your knee health and the hardness of your floor, you might not want to hit the floor super hard. If you do not hit the floor, that is 100% okay. Try not to overthink it too much, right? What we're trying to do here is warm up the knees, ankles, and hips. That's good. So make note of how she keeps her elbows straight. If you cannot keep your elbows straight, you can't have a proper overhead position. You might want to grab it a bit wider. For a lot of people, that makes it a bit easier. But again, don't overthink it. This is mostly about the lower body and a little bit for the shoulders. All right. So what you guys are going to do, if you've been doing this with us for this whole thing, do at least 2 more rounds. If not, I want you to do at least 3 rounds at a consistent pace. Don't rush it, it's not a competition, but also don't get lazy and rest after each round. Make sure you go through all the movements consistently. All right, do that for 3 rounds, then join us for the next series of drills. All right, guys, once you have done your proper warm-up and so on, and maybe any additional prehab work your private coach gave you, you're going to move on with us to a few drills to work towards the clean. The first thing Cecily is going to do is a supinated grip again. She's going to get the stick overhead and behind her head, so elbows bent, and she's going to do 10 front squats like this. So it's a supinated grip behind the neck front squat. So technically it's not a front squat, but you know, let's not get hung up on semantics here. Why are we doing this? Because it kind of helps us with getting the elbows up and keeping the back straight. With the stick, it's very easy to get lazy, and the whole point here is technique training and not being lazy. You need to stay focused the whole time. Other than that, it's just stay with your whole foot on the floor, knees in line with the toes, all the standard stuff we do in a squat, right? But specifically here, focus on keeping the elbows high. Then we're going to do 10 hang clean deadlifts to power position. So that means Cecily's going to stand up straight, straight back. This is her starting position. The grip is like right outside the shoulders. Cecily's going to go down to the hang position, which is above the knee, and back up. to the power position. You can see her knees are bent and she goes back down. She makes a controlled movement, she's not rushing it. See how the knees are relaxed. Chin up, chin up, chin up. Yes. We're going to pretend like this is a super heavy weight, so that means the back needs to be straight. The weight is on the whole foot, not too much on the heels or the toes. And she wants to keep the knees soft. That's basically it. Seems very simple, but the whole point here is to make sure that you're properly balanced so you can feel what happens. If you're just bending over and standing up, you're kind of defeating the point, right? So mind those details about being on the middle of the foot and keeping those knees soft, right? Next up is going to be a clean pull from the hang, but she's going to pause. So she goes down, she stops, she holds her balance here. What I want to see is the arms are going to be roughly straight down. And from there, she's going to make a pull. And hold that for like a half second. Just don't flop over. You don't have to pause it for 3 seconds. Just don't flop around. This is fine. Just a controlled pull. Now, what does a pull mean? It means you drive with the legs. So she goes down, she stops, she pushes her feet into the floor, and she extends her legs, and then she shrugs. So if you're not exactly sure what you're supposed to feel, think of pushing against the floor and shrugging. If it goes very well and the feeling is good, you could go a bit faster. But for most people, it's about the flow of the movement, about feeling the positions, right? So you're going to do that for 10 repetitions. All right, good. For those that were doing this with us, you're going to do one more round of 10 of each. You will see the names of the exercises in the screen. And if you guys have not done it together with us, you're going to do 2 rounds of each, right? So you're going to do the whole thing twice. Next part, we're going to focus on tall variations. What does that mean? Tall means you're either standing upright or on your toes. For now, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to just stand flat. What Cecily's going to do is she's going to stand like this. She's going to do 10 tall muscle cleans. She basically shrugs and pulls her elbows up and brings it into a front rack. And she does that 10 times. If you're a bit stiff in your front rack, actively pull your chin down. So you put your chin on top of the bar and you put your elbows up to force your front rack. For those who are not super stiff like Cecily, don't overthink it. What you need to do is to learn that you always need to guide the bar by your body. You always want the bar to be close. You never ever want the bar to flop out in front of you. So this is just practice to have the feeling on the upper back, like what are your elbows supposed to do when you're actually making a clean. You're going to do 10 repetitions of this just to get the feeling in. Again, control it, feel the tension on your upper back. Then go into 10 tall power cleans. So you start the same way, you shrug an elbow up, but suddenly you're in a power clean. So you're not getting the weight up with your feet. You're just bringing the stick up to your belly button and suddenly, boom, it's on your shoulders. That's it. You see she's catching it pretty high. That's because it's a power clean. Good. Beautiful. And you can see the stick is constantly close to her body instead of away from her. Good. Now if you've done that for 10 repetitions, you're going to do another 10, but now you're going to catch it deeper. So now you basically get a full tall clean. You could start on your toes if you prefer. Some people prefer that. But for most people, you can just start on the whole foot. She's going to pull it up to the belly button and suddenly she teleports down into a front squat. Good. If you have trouble with the deep position of the squat, you just catch it a bit higher. And then you write it down, assuming you can do that with a straight back, right? So don't rush it. You can see she's moving pretty fast. Awesome. If you can do that, certainly do it. If not, slow down the movement, feel what happens. But the whole point here is to learn to keep the stick or the barbell close to your body, regardless whether it's clean, power clean, tall clean, and so on, right? So, again, if you've been doing this with us, do the whole thing once more. If not, you're going to do the whole thing twice. You will see it in the video. Press pause now. All right, guys, welcome back to your best part of the day. We're moving on to Cecily doing some hang work. She's starting with hang, clean pulls to hold. That means she's going to go down. She's going to go straight back up by pushing with the legs. And she's going to hold this position for a second or two before she goes back. She's going to go down to above the knee and pull and hold. So she's not actively trying to pull the stick all the way up to her chest or whatever. Just keep focusing on extending the legs and shrugging. If your elbows bend a little bit, that's fine. Just don't turn it into a high pull. Don't pull it all the way up. This is completely fine. You want to focus on your balance. You want to learn to move up instead of forward or backward. So if you have troubles with your balance here, you cannot hold that hold position for 2 seconds. You may be off balance. Keep in mind, she's not kettlebell swinging against a stick. She's pushing against the floor with her legs, right? So right when you're above the knee, think of pushing against the floor, then you shrug and you hold that position. The whole time when she shrugs, she's also pushing against the floor with the ball of her foot. She's going to do the same thing, but now with a high pull. So now she's actively going to bring it to above the belly button. Same thing, above the knee, pushing with the floor, and she keeps pushing as she brings it above the belly button. All right, so what you need to focus on is on your balance again, but now with upper back tightness, and again, tension on the quads the whole time. 10 repetitions. And once we've done that, we're going to move on to 10 hang muscle cleans. So she's still going to do the same movement from the hang, but now she's going to place it on her shoulder. So it's above the knees. So again, she's above the knees, she pushes with the legs, she pulls through with the elbows, and she catches it on the shoulders. That's it. Awesome. And again, the whole time the focus is on driving with the legs and keeping that stick or barbell close. Right. So this is going to be another whole round of 10 repetitions, or 2 rounds if you have not been joining us during the video. Take your time. Again, try to feel out the movement, feel the positions. Don't rush it, right? So again, take your time. Before you join us back again, press pause. All right, this is where the fun part starts, because now you get to do a lot of reps on large movements. So instead of having a small part of the movement, we're going to work up to the full hang clean. Cecily's going to start with 10 hang clean high pulls. So above the knee, and she's going to bring it up to the belly button. And every single time, she's going to make sure that her hips are above the feet, and she is extending the knees the whole time. She's not going to kettlebell swing. She's driving with the legs 10 times. What she's doing right now is a feeling she needs to maintain during the next 2 exercises as well. Because once she has done 10 of these, she's going to do 10 hang power cleans. So focus on staying over the bar. And at some point she's going to pull it up to the shoulder, into the front rack position. That's it. And every single time she's going to drive with the legs. Right now she's spreading her feet. If you keep your feet in place, that's okay, as long as the rest of the movement is good. But for most people, it's a lot more practical to move the feet out every single time. And every single time she's going to work on keeping that stick close to her. I should be able to stand here without fearing for my own life. See? Everything is fine. All right, so you're going to focus on that. Think of the leg drive, the pull through, and actually putting it on the shoulder. Once she has done this for 10 repetitions, then she's going to do the same thing, but she's going to catch it all the way down. Remember, if you cannot catch it all the way down, catch it a bit higher and ride it down as far as you can with a straight back. So she's still over the bar, she's still pulling it up to the belly button, but as she pulls it to the belly button, she goes down. And another 10 of those, so you should probably be sweating a little bit around now. And every single time, she's still shrugging, she's still pulling with the elbows. Even though you don't always see it that well, she is putting in that effort. But when it comes down to it, the most important thing for most of you guys is push against the floor, use your legs. So for you guys, make sure that once you have done all this with us or not, you're going to do at least 1 or 2 more rounds, but feel free to do some extra work, especially if you feel like, well, I want to get a little bit of conditioning in, and I feel like I need to work on my technique a little extra. Always feel free to do an extra set. It's just a stick, so it's not going to impede your recovery too much. So good luck with this, and hopefully see you in one of our other weightlifting videos.